Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's 10 o'clock and we are scheduled to start. I see that we have more people in the session. As I just welcomed everybody, I just want to also say welcome to you. We are just going to be taking a couple of minutes to give an opportunity to the rest of the delegates who have registered and will be joining us today. So let's give it some time, maybe 4 more minutes, and then we will be then starting our session. Thank you very much. Right. A very good morning to every one of you guys, and thank you for joining us today. So, this is GeoTab Africa's webinar sessions. And yes, I know it's already approaching March, but I do want to take this opportunity just to say Happy New Year to every one of you. And to those of you who have been watching our webinar sessions and following us on our social media platforms, I just want to thank you, and it's good to have you back. And if you're joining us for the first time, a very big welcome to you. And please remember, for more webinar sessions to help you understand the GeoTab fleet management solution, follow us on our social media platforms. And you can also then catch past sessions on YouTube. Just search for GeoTab Africa. All right. So without wasting time, let's jump into the session. And before we do so, just a reminder that the session is being recorded, and if you lose connection, no need to worry about that. You can always catch it on our YouTube channel, Geotab Africa. And for all your questions, very important, please drop them in the chat box, and I will be handling them at the end of the session. All right, so today's topic, ladies and gentlemen, is customized fleet reports for stakeholders, where we will be focusing on a few key reports that will help you in terms of steering your fleet in the right direction. Okay. So, for those of you joining us for the first time again, just a bit of background about Geotab Africa. Now, Geotab Africa is growing at a fast pace with a demand in so many different industries. And Geotab Africa has presence in the market from the southern part of Africa throughout the northern parts, and with a few countries in the developing stages of opening for business. Geotab Africa is all about big data, and we have more than 3 million kilometers and more than 40 billion data points that is collected on a daily basis. And currently, with over 3.7 million telematics devices that are currently in operation. So, what can you expect in today's session? Today, we will be diving in on customized reports, where we will be narrowing down on a few key reports that plays a crucial role in your journey of fleet management. And the key reports are divided into four groups, being compliance-based reports, fleet-based, productivity reports, and lastly, your safety-based reports. So, in order to unpack and discuss the key reports, I have highlighted some of the reports that I will be talking to you guys about and taking you guys through. But due to time constraints, I will only be touching on some of the listed reports which are highlighted in red. To understand more of our reports and other solutions that we have in place, get in touch with our team for an obligation free demo. And if you are interested, pop a message right now and my team will be in touch with you. So, fleet management reports are customized, detailed reports that provide you with the most important information to monitor your fleet's performance. Fleet reporting is specialized and tailored to different scenarios, including tracking drivers' hours violations, determining fuel economy, estimating potential fleet savings, and assessing driver safety. My Geotab offers its users not only market leading reports, but also makes us accessing the reports a personalized experience. Now, what do I mean by that? There are three ways in which you can access reports available on my Geotab. Firstly, we have automated reports. Now, this is also known as emailed reports, and it helps fleet managers focus on what matters most to them while still monitoring fleet activity. Okay. Automated reporting provides customized insights that are available when and where you need them. And with an automated system, you can check on fleet performance, be it on a weekly, monthly, yearly, or any other intervals. And the key benefits of emailed reports is that people don't have to go somewhere to find them. Okay, email reports can easily summarize data, charts, or graphs and be pushed directly to a person's inbox. Now, there are several clear advantages to setting up email reports, being number one, sending reports to those who don't have access to the data within the database due to security clearances. And also, being able to email reports keeps individuals informed within the business regarding the important issues affecting the operation of the organization as a whole. And then we also have dashboard reporting. So my Geotab dashboard is basically a snapshot of all the important reports chosen by the users, right? And these reports are graphical for easy interpretation and analysis. Dashboard reports give you a visual representation of the condition of your fleet and how it is performing. It is used to make decisions at a simple glance. Now, how often would you then check your dashboard report? That is a good question. The frequency could range from once a day to as needed, depending on the use case. And as far as routines, it is important to set the proper next run and refresh times. Okay, so when managers understand the times their reports have the latest data, that is what can guide them on the frequency of checking their dashboard data. And the last manner to access your reports is then reports on my GeoTip is based on real time exporting. While my GeoTip allows for customized pre-built reports through automated and the dashboard reporting, which we've just discussed, users can also always export a report based on the data they feel is needed for the business as a once off. Now, this means that fleet managers can always go back to historical data within specific date and time range requirements. And this will ensure that time is saved by only focusing on the data that is needed at that particular moment. And also, very importantly, not skipping useful information due to bulk data, right? So now that we understand more about reporting on MyGeoTab, especially ways to access the reports, let's explore various key reports available on MyGeoTab, highlighting their functionalities, the benefits, and how they can empower businesses to make informed decisions and drive success. So, the first group that we'll be touching on is the compliance group of reports, right? So, the first one that we will be touching on is the risk management report. This is a powerful tool designed to help businesses to identify and mitigate potential risks associated with fleet operations, And from this report, fleet managers can immediately identify productivity levels by observing total distance covered by each vehicle. That is information that can also be used to determine if you are utilizing the right number of vehicles in your fleet, and more so, if the fleet vehicles are used in the right departments, for example. Now, if fleet managers compare the total distance traveled with idle time, they will have then a bigger picture of productivity. Are the drivers spending most of their time in idle or driving? Those are the types of questions that the system will answer. And if the time spent is mostly in idling, is this then an expected process as per organizational procedures? Right? It is here then that fleet managers are also given the opportunity to minimize fleet fuel expenses by identifying vehicles idling over and above expected idle times. Now, that can also then mount to unnecessary fuel consumption. And we all know the high prices and the problems regarding fuel that we have, right? So, the report also gives fleet managers an opportunity to monitor vehicles that are being used after working hours when they are not meant to. Okay, some fleet based organizations do allow drivers to take the vehicles home, with a few terms and conditions, of course, here and there, just to minimize the risk. However, that is not always the case, as we all know. We have seen drivers misusing assets in different types of ways. So, the report allows fleet managers to narrow down on the problematic areas. So, you can track driving patterns for increased safety, efficiency, and fleet productivity, reduce idling times, reverse driving events, and get alerted when engine abuse or engine faults occur at the particular moment. So you can also manage overall driving performance by monitoring things like the stop counts, the average speed, total driving duration, and a whole lot more. And the second report under the group that we are is the driving hours status report, which is a vital component when it comes to fleet management, providing crucial insights into driver compliance with hours of service regulations. Right. So, leveraging advanced telematics data, this report offers a comprehensive overview of driver hours, including driving time, rest periods, and compliance with regulatory mandates rules. So, by monitoring driver hours in real time and generating detailed reports, fleet based organizations can ensure adherence to legal requirements, mitigate the risk of violations, as well as optimizing scheduling to maximize efficiency while prioritizing driver safety as well as the well being of the drivers. Okay, but moreover, my Geotab driving hour status report enables businesses to streamline administrative tasks associated with hours of service compliance, things like reducing paperwork and manual data entry. So, with customizable reporting features and automated alerts for potential violations or impending rest breaks, businesses can proactively manage driver schedules, minimize downtime, and maintain compliances. All right. So, by utilizing this report, businesses can enhance operational transparency, minimizing the risk of costly penalties and promoting a culture of compliance and accountability within their fleet operations. This report also then ties back to productivity, identifying how many stops are made during the day at customer versus the stops that are made at non-customer zones, meaning fleet managers can easily get a glimpse of whether the organization is operating at its optimal, and if not, they will then have an idea on which areas need their full attention, which is what's important. So then we're also going to have a look at your fleet-based reports, and these reports aim to optimize every aspect of your fleet. So, as many customers first start to use My Geotab to manage their fleet, it can it can be easy to overlook the importance of regularly monitoring the health of all devices in the fleet. So, My Geotab provides powerful and easy to use tools to ensure that devices are communicating and healthy, staying on top of any potential issues. So, the Watchdog report allows you to confirm that all reports you run in My Geotab are up to date with the latest and most accurate information possible. Fleet managers can easily filter out the devices that may need to be investigated from the ones that are reporting healthy, of course. And as you can see on the report, it shows how long each device has been offline, from 1 day up to 3 days and more. All right. A live device in a healthy state should be communicating with My Geotab at least once every 24 hours. So, from the Watchdog report, you will be able to see which devices have stopped communicating and need to be followed up upon. All right. And devices can actually stop communicating for a wide range of reasons. For instance, some devices may drive into an area out of cellular coverage, right? And stay out of coverage for a number of days. And it is also common for a device to be unplugged while in the shop for maintenance. And a non-communicating device can even indicate a larger issue with the vehicle itself, such as a dead battery. All right. So reviewing the Watchdog report regularly will allow you to jump on top of any potential issues early and ensure that your telematic devices are always reporting the data that you need. All right. And In addition to the summary view provided by the Watchdog report, My GeoTab also provides a detailed status page, which you can view for each device in your fleet. Now, this report allows you to see when a device last communicated, all right, with My GeoTab and what data is being received from the device. Now, from this information, it can be easily determined if number one, the device is experiencing any issues with the GPS antenna, for example, or if the device is having trouble communicating with the onboard engine computer in the vehicle. And lastly, if the SIM card, for example, on the device is activated with the network carrier. So that's the importance of the Watchdog report in terms of allowing you to monitor the communication status of your devices. So while we're still here under this group, another key report that fleet managers should run regularly is the fuel usage report, especially with the fuel prices being so high. Now, the GeoTab platform grants you insight into fuel usage and fill up trends within your fleet, along with critical engine data for proactive fleet maintenance. So, you can integrate your fuel cards to monitor transactions by fuel type and state right from our platform. All right. Now, fleet managers can track key fuel metrics such as fuel consumption, is the fuel, that's being the fuel used and the fuel used when idling. Number two, fuel economy, which is the actual kilometers per liter. Right. So again, fuel managers will be able to have an idea of the fuel levels, true idling, as well as engine malfunctions such as faulty oxygen sensors. Now, the idea, ladies and gentlemen, of fleet fuel management needs a holistic approach. And My GeoTab is ultimately a one platform solution to help you zone in on all the contributing factors in an easy process. So, when talking about fleet fuel management being holistic, it basically means monitoring driver behaviors that can result in negative effects on fuel efficiency, such as speeding, acceleration, and harsh braking, excessive idling, and then also gaining greater control of where and when fuel is purchased, optimizing preventative maintenance schedules, and lastly, using vehicle diagnostics data for proactive maintenance purposes. All right. Now, speaking of maintenance, the last report under the fleet based group is the maintenance report. So, preventative maintenance is critical to extending the health and life cycle of existing fleet vehicles. I'm sure we can all agree with that. And with that, with current vehicles being kept in service for longer periods or kept in prime condition to be repurposed for other business operations and opportunities, increasing communication around the idea of maintenance should remain top priority, ladies and gentlemen, right? And though scaling back your preventative maintenance efforts may seem, at that particular moment, it may seem like a good idea to temporarily cut costs. It could also then have costly consequences. I mean, skipping vehicle checks could lead to smaller problems growing into much, much costlier, bigger problems. All right. So, on the other hand, for fleets that are not part of a fleet management service company, the reminder rule is a great way to help you stay on top of maintenance. All right. Now, this highly customizable free rule can be built of any combination of time, engine hours, or the kilometers driven, any of which can trigger an alert. Okay. And what are then the pros and cons of maintenance reminders being run optimally within your fleet? Let's be honest, there aren't really cons to you being on top of your game when it comes to maintenance of your fleet vehicles, right? So, what are the pros then on the other hand? Number one, always be in the know. Amen. So, this is where you'll receive regular friendly reminders either through email or text to be alerted when a vehicle is almost due for a maintenance event. Now, this will help when it comes to you being actively, it's going to help you to actively prevent maintenance issues from affecting your fleet and eliminating the possibility of unprecedented costly events or vehicle problems down the road. And then number two, it can also then help to increase lifespan of your fleet, as we've just mentioned. I mean, healthier vehicles lead to greater productivity. I'm sure we can all agree to that. Right. So vehicle downtime directly affects a vehicle's ability to generate revenue. So eliminating unnecessary downtime will help your company maximize the revenue stemming from your fleet. Right. So we also have things like predictive maintenance scheduling. And then lastly, it's going to assist fleet managers stay organized, right? So you can organize past maintenance events to keep track of your fleet's maintenance history, for example. And this can then help you to identify vehicle trends, which will then further complement the preventative measures that you are taking. Okay, so now let's have a look at some safety based reports. The speed profile is a useful tool that will help you improve driver safety within your fleet. And it will also assist you to gain a better understanding of changes in driving style depending on the environment that your drivers are performing or driving in. And with this report, ladies and gentlemen, fleet managers can also do a comparison, right, between one driver to the next based on things like driving behavior in one vehicle, for example. So the report shows how on a single trip or multiple trips, the drivers maintain the required speed, thus then resulting in lower unnecessary fuel consumption. And I know that is a language that we all like to hear when it comes to saving on fuel. So fleet managers are able to identify what speeds was the driver doing and what was the actual and estimated speed limit in that area. And lastly, remember, guys, that unnecessary speeding not only amounts to wasting fuel, but also more bad, in fact, is the unnecessary engine abuse that will be experienced when it comes to your riskier drivers and the fleet vehicles as a whole. All right. So then the next report in the safety group is your driver safety scorecard, which is an important and exciting tool. So this report basically focuses on three primary elements of unsafe driving, being aggressive driving, seatbelt usage, as well as speeding. And with most fleet based organizations, those are the common and problematic areas. Right. So the driver safety scorecard is designed to maximize driver safety and identify a fleet's riskiest drivers. Right. Now, this report will complement any fleet safety measures that you currently have in place and act as a powerful tool for gauging their drivers' safety risks. And the driver safety report can help you to increase, number one, your driver safety. Number two, it's going to help to identify, as mentioned, your risky drivers within the fleet. Now, what is the importance then of identifying risky drivers? This is where the report then also comes into place. It's going to help you to also then identify and recognize your safer drivers. So, with that data, fleet managers can then compare what is being done on the right side that can be then benchmarked on the other side where we have identified issues when it comes to your risky drivers. So the average fleet score then also helps fleet managers to gauge your fleet's overall safety performance in relation to your risk classifications and expectations on the report itself. All right. And high procurement and operating costs mean fleets are constantly looking for savings and profit opportunities. And we often think of achieving these by increasing productivity, reducing expenses, and mitigating vehicle downtime. However, one of the most overlooked costs, ladies and gentlemen, within many fleets is, regardless of industry or size, is driver safety. So, a company's greatest asset is its employees, the culture, the competitive advantages, and the ability to drive businesses forward. It all begins and ends with human capital. So tragically, motor vehicle crashes are the leading cause of death and injury for all ages and fleets, regardless of the industry. So accidents that happen on and off the job have far-reaching financial, psychological effects on employees, their co-workers, families, and employers. So this is why investing in your employees' safety and well-being is actually essential. All right. So while speaking about safety and ensuring safety of your drivers, moreover, the Geotab exceptions report, which is the one you see right now, enables businesses to set up automated alerts and notifications for specific events or thresholds. Think of this as having the Harry Potter magic stick in your office and identifying what it is that you want to know as it happens. Now, this report is the go-to, allowing for real-time monitoring and immediate response to critical situations. Whether it's detecting instances of excessive idling, unauthorized vehicle use outside of your designated hours, or deviations from scheduled stops. This report empowers fleet managers with actionable insights to optimize performance, enhancing security, as well as to enforce policy adherence. So, by utilizing the Geotab exceptions report, businesses can streamline operations. It can help you to narrow down on the exact problems or potential future problems within your fleet. Depending on which rule is triggered, one can also then choose how they want to receive the notification thereof. And the last group of reports that we will be then talking about is the productivity category or the productivity group. So the trip history report feature within My Geotab, it gives users a summarized view of all historic trip information, including fleet performance. So visualizing data in a meaningful context allows users to quickly compare how well or even how poorly your vehicles, your drivers, or the group are performing as a whole and in relation to each other. So, this report gives fleet managers the opportunity to identify the best routes for the business, how to basically optimize company assets and time. Fleet managers can run this report in conjunction to the routes feature. For example, your planned versus actual routes. And with this data, fleet managers can have open communication with the drivers as to why certain routes are being used and others are not. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, the drivers know more about what happens on the road than people in the office. For example, the shortest route might not always be the safest one. Or on the other side, the longest route might not always be the financially healthy one for the organization or the fleet department. So, my GeoTab offers tools to make sound decisions when it comes to such issues. Okay. And then the last point that I will be touching on is just to simply highlight the advantages and the benefits of GeoTab's fleet management reporting. And as we then conclude, one can ask, what are the advantages of GeoTab's fleet management reporting system? All right. So the GeoTab fleet management tracking and reporting system provides you with the following key points that will play a vital part in your fleet. Pre-built reports that are designed to optimize your fleet efficiency, safety and productivity. Key reports that are built into simple dashboards, saving you valuable time and effort, allowing you then to also then monitor your fleet on the other side. Complete customization so that each report can fit your unique requirements. And then also automated reports scheduled to run at a frequency that you require while you take care of the business and other areas of the business. Custom alerts and notifications via text or email for the information that you cannot afford to miss at all right? User permissions is also an advantage where it is used to provide your team with only the information they need. And lastly, complete oversight of fleet operations so that you can make informed decisions to improve performance, to make informed decisions that will help the business move in the right direction, that will help the business to grow at a later stage. So remember, today, we only touched on some of the reports which I highlighted earlier on, as I've said. And as I said, to understand more of the reports, remember, you can just always get in touch with my team in terms of getting an obligation-free demo. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, it brings us then to the end of our session for today. So just want to have a look if we have any Q&As within our chat. If you can give me a second. All right, I've got one question it's on the other side. Okay, so we've got Tyrin who says, "Good morning. Is there a way of separating our reports for our different clients?" All right. So with regards to that, Tyron, I think I might need more information and detail as to what the separation could entail. I could tell you that, yes, there are certain levels of separation in terms of user profiles, user clearances, but just to get an understanding of your question, my team will be in touch with you shortly after the session, just to get in touch and just, getting bigger understanding of the question that you have right now. All right. If you can just do me a quick favor, if you can just pop by maybe your email or some detail that my team can use to get in touch with you, I'd really appreciate that, Tara. Thank you very much for that question. Right, I see that was the only question that we have. Nonetheless, don't worry about it, guys. Remember that if you're catching this recording at a later stage, you can always pop your questions on our social media platforms. My team is always readily available to assist you and answer all the questions that you might have. If you feel that might take too long for you, you can directly then get in touch with my team. As mentioned, this is where you can also take the advantage of the opportunity to get an obligation-free demo from my team, right? From my side, guys, I just want to say thank you very much. And I do hope to see you as we keep growing in our next session. So thank you very much. Hope to see you again next time.